What if I told you that a Saturday morning cartoon from 2000 tackled racism, gun violence, police brutality, and LGBTQ+ representation, topics that most adult shows today are still afraid to address? That Static Shock wasn't just entertainment, it was a blueprint for what superhero media could be if it stopped playing it safe. While other kids' shows were giving us recycled villain of the week plots, Static Shock was showing black teenagers getting profiled by police, friends dying from gun violence, and the consequences of gang warfare. And it did all of this on Kids WB between Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon. Let me show you why Static Shock was 20 years ahead of its time. Season 1, Episode 7, Child's Play. The episode where Static Shock proved it wasn't like other superhero shows. Virgil's friend is shot not by a supervillain, not by a bang baby with powers, by another kid with a gun at school. And the episode doesn't cut away. It doesn't make it abstract. You see the blood, you hear the scream. You watch Virgil process that his friend might die, then the episode does something even bolder. It shows the aftermath. Virgil struggling with trauma, his father talking about gun violence in their community, the shooter being arrested while crying, realizing what he's done. No easy answers, no simple solutions, just reality. This aired in 2000. Columbine had happened 1 year earlier. School shootings were becoming a national crisis, and while politicians debated and adults argued, a Kids WB cartoon said, "We need to talk about this with the kids who are living through it." Networks were terrified. Some affiliates refused to air it. Parents groups complained. But Static Shock didn't back down. Because Dwayne McDuffie understood something most creators didn't. Kids aren't stupid. They know guns exist. They know violence is real. Pretending otherwise doesn't protect them, it abandons them. Here's a question for you. What other kids show from 2000 would have the guts to show a school shooting? Drop a comment, because this wasn't even Static Shock's most controversial episode. Most superhero shows handle racism like this. Villain says something obviously racist, hero punches villain, racism is defeated. Static Shock said that's not how it works. Season 2, Episode 3, The New Kid. Virgil befriends a black transfer student named Daisy.
And I'm Daisy.
Hi.
He's excited, finally someone who gets it. Then he meets her father, a successful black man, educated, well-spoken, and deeply, explicitly racist against white people. Virgil is stunned. This isn't a cartoon villain being evil, this is a father who's been hurt by racism so much that he's teaching his daughter to hate. And the episode doesn't make him a monster, it makes him human, flawed, understandable, but wrong. The episode ends with Virgil telling Daisy,
What are you doing here?
After that mess at Vanmore.
"Your dad's been through stuff I can't imagine, but that doesn't make him right. Hate doesn't fix hate." That's not a Disney Channel after-school special. That's genuine moral complexity presented to kids. The message wasn't racism is bad, though it is. The message was hurt people, and breaking that cycle is harder than just being nice. But Static Shock went further. Season 3, Episode 8, Flashback. We see Virgil's mother, a civil rights activist, die during a race riot, not in the distant past, in Virgil's recent childhood. Picture this, you're a black kid watching Saturday morning cartoons, and the hero, the guy you look up to, lost his mother the same way real black families have lost loved ones to racial violence. That's not escapism, that's validation. It's saying your pain is real and you're not alone. At that point, Static Shock stopped being a superhero show. It became a mirror. And for black kids growing up in America, that mirror was desperately needed. Every show does a gang episode. Usually it goes like this. Good kid is pressured to join gang, realizes gangs are bad, leaves gang, everything's fine. Static Shock said, what if it's not that simple? Season 1, Episode 4, The Breed. Virgil's friend joins a bang baby gang led by Eben, but the episode doesn't portray gang members as mindless thugs, it shows why they join. Eben recruits kids who've been abandoned by society, foster kids, homeless teens, kids with powers who can't get jobs, can't go to school, can't survive legally. The gang isn't evil, it's a response to systemic failure. Virgil fights Eben, but he can't fight the reason Eben exists, and the episode ends with Virgil realizing that stopping one gang doesn't fix the problem, because the problem is poverty, abandonment, in a society that treats these kids as disposable. That's 2000. That's a Kids WB show, and it's presenting gang violence as a symptom of systemic oppression, not as individual moral failure. Compare that to how most media portrays gangs even today. Static Shock understood something in 2000 that Hollywood still refuses to acknowledge in 2025. Context matters. People aren't evil by nature. Circumstances create desperation, and desperation creates violence. Season 4, the final season, Static Shock was already pushing boundaries, and then they did something that shocked even longtime fans. Richie Foley, Virgil's best friend, the nerdy white kid Gear, is heavily implied to be gay, not confirmed explicitly. This was 2004 and networks were cowards. But the subtext was undeniable. Richie breaks up with his girlfriend, he's emotionally distant, he struggles with identity, and in one scene, a classmate asks him about dating, and Richie responds with visible discomfort and avoidance. For LGBTQ plus kids watching in 2004, that was everything. Because representation wasn't about Richie saying, "I'm gay" on screen, it was about seeing a character struggle with identity in a way that felt painfully familiar. And here's what makes it brilliant. Virgil doesn't care. There's no very special episode where Virgil learns acceptance, he just supports his friend. Because that's what real friendship looks like. Static Shock treated LGBTQ plus identity the way it should be treated, as part of life, not as a problem to solve. And it did this in 2004, 20 years ago, on a kids network, when most adult shows were still using gay characters as punchlines. Static Shock premiered in September 2000. By season 2, 9/11 had happened. America was in a support the troops, respect authority frenzy. Criticizing police was seen as unpatriotic.
Mind if we take a look inside your backpack?
Why, what? I didn't do anything.
No one said you did.
And Static Shock said, yeah, but what if the police are wrong? Season 2, Episode 8, Static Shack.
No, I'm Shaq. You gotta be Virgil.
Shaquille O'Neal guest stars, yes, really. But the episode isn't about celebrity cameos, it's about police profiling. A black scientist is accused of a crime he didn't commit. Police immediately assume he's guilty because he's black and in the wrong neighborhood. Static has to prove his innocence while navigating the fact that even as a hero, the system doesn't trust him. The episode's message was clear. Badges don't make people right. Authority doesn't equal justice. And black people, even successful, educated ones, are still seen as suspicious. This aired in 2002, 23 years before Black Lives Matter became a mainstream movement. Static Shock was teaching kids about systemic racism while America was pretending it didn't exist. So why does any of this matter? Because in 2026, we're still fighting for the representation Static Shock gave us in 2000. Modern shows pat themselves on the back for having diverse casts, but diversity without substance is just marketing. Static Shock didn't just have a black lead, it told black stories. It centered black pain, black joy, black complexity. It didn't treat social issues as very special episodes. It wove them into the fabric of the show because for the community Static represented, these issues aren't special, they're daily life, and it did all of this without being preachy. Static was funny, it was action-packed, it was entertaining, but it never sacrificed depth for accessibility. It trusted its audience, kids, to handle complicated, uncomfortable truth.
Tell you the truth,
That's what ahead of its time means. Static Shock understood what media is still learning. Representation isn't just about who's on screen, it's about whose stories get told and how honestly they're told. So that's why Static Shock was ahead of its time. Not because it had a black lead, though that mattered, but because it refused to treat its audience like children who needed protection from reality. It showed gun violence, racism, gang warfare, police brutality, LGBTQ plus identity. And it did it all with nuance, respect, and genuine care for the communities it represented. 25 years later, most shows still can't do what Static Shock did on Saturday morning television. And that's not a compliment to modern media, it's an indictment. Which Static Shock episode hit you the hardest? Which moment made you realize this show was different? Let me know in the comments, because here's the thing, Static Shock didn't just predict the future of representation, it set the standard. In my next video, I'm breaking down why the Static Shock movie keeps getting delayed and why Hollywood might not be ready for what Static actually represents. If you want to see that video, hit subscribe, and if this video made you appreciate Static Shock even more, leave a like so I know to make more deep dive content like this. Thanks for watching, I'll see you in the next one.